All the greatest UFC cards begin with a story. UFC 294 is no different. UFC 294 was originally Paulo Costa versus Khamzat Chimaev and Islam Makhachev versus Oliviera 2. The storyline with these fighters was a bit surface level or lackluster. Khamzat and Paulo with some Twitter banter, and Islam and Charles being the lightweight title rematch. But Paulo Peptide Costa was forced to pull out due to a serious elbow infection, and Charles Dahmer du Bronx was forced to pull out because of a cut due to a head clash during a spar. Islam became eye slam injured fighter the second he caught wind of this, and Khamzat Crazy Eyes Chimaev has been itching for a fight and hasn't held back on the insults for Paulo during this time as well. With only 13 days before UFC 294, the co-main and main event was seemingly falling apart, and this is where the real story begins. Alexander, the vertically challenged, potentially the greatest featherweight of all time, decided to challenge Islam in February of this year, losing a decision in a razor-thin fight. Eager to redeem this loss and claiming to know how his game plan failed him the first time, he stepped up to the plate and has taken another shot at Islam with just 13 days to prepare. Kamaru Usman in Chimaev's history began when Khamzat blasted his way in a supersonic fashion to the top of the welterweight division. Kamaru, being champion at the time, turned down to fight with Khamzat due to his lack of time and experience in the sport, which obviously caused arguments and beef between the two. Although now Kamaru is coming off of two brutal losses to Leon Edwards in championship fights, and his good friend Israel Adesanya being dethroned at middleweight, it's caused him to set his sights on the middleweight belt for a chance to be a double champion before he retires. With this goal in mind, Kamaru Usman knew this fight between him and Khamzat would catapult him to a title shot in the near future, and he wasn't about to let this opportunity pass him by. All the respect in the world to these fighters who have not only salvaged, but many agree elevated this card to potentially the best card of the year. So just remember, if you want to see a great UFC fight night,